morning. I'm Cassie from OK with RA. I was actually diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis when I was 8 months pregnant with my very first baby, and I was 23 years old. I'm now 42 years old, and so I'm 19 years in my journey with RA. And during that time, I have been medication-free, except for early on. I did a 6-month stint with the steroid prednisone that I took orally. And the prednisone did cut down on my inflammation, but it was a path that I knew I didn't want to take. So I have known from day one, for me personally, that I'm not a person who wants to take the arthritis medications, but I have no judgment for people who have a different, view on that. And I would never tell somebody how to manage it. It is a very hard thing to take on. I was diagnosed at the age of 23, and at that time I was fresh out of college. I had been a long distance runner, and I was very athletic and very fit, and much more athletic than most of the people I knew. And when I was diagnosed, I was having kind of some migratory pain. My wrists, my elbows, my shoulders, it would be going up and down. I had problems with my right knee and problems in the balls of my feet. Nothing was working. So long story short, I ended up at the rheumatologist office, and my rheumatologist basically told me, she said she didn't know why I had RA and she didn't know how to fix it, but she did know that it was the result of my immune system attacking my body, and she could give me medications to basically make my immune system impotent so that it would be too weak to attack anything, including myself. And I understand all that. I understand what she had to offer. I knew that the medications that she would put me on, especially starting them at the age of 23, would probably make me very sick by the age of 50. And I would just remember thinking, if I take these meds, I'll just be pasty and ghostly white. And so I just knew that wasn't the path I wanted to take. Well, I started this long journey of trying to figure out how to reverse my symptoms. And it was a lot of research online and a lot of self-experimentation. And now I have come to a place where I feel like I really do have a pretty good system in place, and I'm very happy with my life, and I don't suffer. I don't have pain. I don't just sit and hurt and ache. I feel comfortable. I feel comfortable in my body. My body can work. I have a job. I have a business. I have 6 children. I'm able to take care of them, and I'm able to exercise, and I'm able to do everything that I want to be able to do. My life is very satisfying, very fulfilling, and I just don't feel like I'm being held back by RA, which is just the most amazing thing. I'm in a lot of groups on Facebook, like Heal Arthritis Naturally, or natural treatments for rheumatoid arthritis, and I see these people posting like, well, tell me exactly what you eat, or what is it that you're doing, or I tried to do diet, it didn't work for me. And I think they don't get it. They don't understand. And it is such a hard thing to explain. You have to create completely new dietary patterns. And even that sentence may not make sense to you. And you think, okay, what does that mean? And it is simple to understand and to say, but it is hard to put into practice. So whenever I finally understood the shift that had to happen in my diet and the level of change, and then the completely new way of thinking, shopping, eating, cooking, snacking, when I completely overhauled everything about the food that I ate, it was like something happened. And so I just kind of went from better to better to better to better to better. And my life became full and happy and joyful and easy and pain-free. I have to really hold my health in a very special place, because my health doesn't come easy to me. It's something I have to really choose and work for and prioritize, plan for, and execute every single day. So I think of it this way: I have my health in my hands. I don't depend on the medical community. I don't depend on any other doctor. I don't depend on anybody else to make me healthy. And so let me just kind of give you the overview of what I do to control symptoms of rheumatoid arthritis. So number one is triggers. So in my little My Health, My Hands analogy, I have 10 steps for you to follow. And so it's like there's a step for every finger on your hand. And the 2 thumbs start with T, and the 4 fingers on each hand start with F. So the first one and your first thumb is triggers. So triggers are, it's imperative that you're able to identify and avoid and eliminate triggers from your diet, especially in the early stages of healing. You have got to get rid of your triggers. Whatever it is that you're eating that ignites your symptoms and flares up your immune system, you have to be able to identify and eliminate triggers. So step 1 is triggers. Not only will that keep your immune system calm, it will allow your gut to heal. It is a crucial part of healing your gut, which is a crucial part of overcoming rheumatoid arthritis. Number 2 on your finger is food. Eating the appropriate foods for healing are crucial. It's a non-negotiable. And the foods that you need to eat are whole plants. That means a lot of fresh fruits and vegetables and cooked fruits and vegetables, a lot of green smoothies, a lot of acai bowls, a lot of snacking on, baby carrots and cucumbers, making big salads, a lot of sweet potatoes and pseudo grains like buckwheat and quinoa and amaranth, a lot of frozen fruits like berries and mangoes. And those are the foods of healing. Those are the foods of the very early stages of recovery. And, depending on how sick you are, will depend on how long you have to be in that stage. And depending on how good you are at identifying and eliminating your triggers, that will tell you, what you can start to bring in as you heal. So as you heal, you can bring in more foods. And if you're able to identify what sets you off and what doesn't, then if something sets you off, you set it aside and you keep on bringing on new foods. Keep the ones that don't trigger you and let go of the ones that do. And eventually, in my case, I ended up in a Mediterranean type diet that I eat now. So I started on a vegan, whole food, plant-based diet, and I did vegan exclusively for a couple of years because I was just too scared. I felt good and I didn't want to mess it up, and I was just too scared to bring in more foods, and I really was scared to leave that baseline place of food that I could eat. But now I've gotten to where I do bring in more foods. I eat salmon. I eat red meat. I don't eat meat more than 3 times a week. But I'm able to eat a Mediterranean type diet and my symptoms are still super low. My quality of life is high and I feel comfortable and easy in my skin. The next one, the next F in my system of 10 is 40 winks, which means sleep. So after you identify and eliminate triggers, bring in the healthy food that's going to heal you. The next one is to get lots of rest and lots of sleep. 40 winks means you just close your eyes and take a little rest. But I say close your eyes and rest as long as your body needs to rest, especially in those early stages. As you get healthier and healthier and healthier, you become more tolerant of sleep deprivation and other things. Not that I'm recommending that, but sleep is imperative, especially in the beginning. The next one is fountain. So the next F in my list of 10, so we have triggers, food, 40 winks, which just means sleep, and fountain, which means hydration. It's really important that you're drinking lots of pure, clean water. Pure, clean water is imperative for healthy joint activity, and it's also imperative for blood flow, for your cells to function the way they should. We're trying to heal cells, heal the gut, heal the body, heal the tissues, and all of those processes need lots and lots of water. So getting plenty of pure, clean water is very important. And if you can get all those in place, triggers, food, 40 winks, sleep, fountain, taking in lots and lots of water, next comes fitness. And fitness really does level up your healing. I mean, you really get your body back when you start exercising, especially whenever you're used to not moving because you felt so bad for so long. So when you start moving and exercising, it really does ramp up your recovery in a big way. Okay, on the other hand, so that's the first hand, triggers, food, 40 winks, fountain, and fitness. Now, on the other hand is really the emotional components to your healing. So we're gonna start with this pinky finger, and the F for that pinky finger is fight. And what I mean by that is you have to take responsibility for this fight. And that means you're taking your health into your own hands. This is, for me, this battle with arthritis is my fight. I have to do it. My husband, my parents, my children, my doctor, my supplement salesperson, none of those people are gonna do it for me. It's my fight, it's my job. I have to fight for my own health, my own life, and I have to do it so that I can achieve my purpose in this life. I can never accept that it's my purpose to sit and suffer day after day after day after day. The next F on that hand of the more emotional, mental, spiritual hand is forgive. Not only do you have to forgive yourself, you have to forgive others. And forgiveness is a huge part of healthy, happy living, and thriving mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. The next F is faith. Faith is huge. Faith is the belief in things that you cannot see. It's trusting. I have a purpose. I have a plan. I have a call from God. And I was not meant to sit and suffer and be in pain all day, every day for years on end. It's trusting that God will show you a brighter day, a better path, and a meaningful future with deep healing relationships. You have to have that faith. If you act like that's true, it helps you, I think, so very much. The next F, the last F of my 10-step plan is fulfill your purpose. Fulfilling your purpose. None of these things that you do are worth doing if you aren't doing them for the mission of being your best, fulfilling your calling, being the mom you're supposed to be, being the grandma that you want to be, being the worker, being, creating that business, or serving in that ministry, or helping that group of people, or whatever it is that you feel called to do. You have to utilize your health to fulfill your purpose. And if you can do that, then it gives you the energy and the momentum to keep on with your first hand, which is all the practical parts of healing and recovering from RA. And the last T is trust. So this is the thumb on your last hand. It's trust. And trust was super duper important for me. I needed to learn how to trust myself and be true to myself and develop trust with myself, not betray myself. I also needed to learn not to maintain close relationships with people who I knew I could not trust, and who I knew did not have my best interest at heart, and who I knew did not have a problem hurting me. Whenever I could trust myself to take care of myself and trust the people I was around, that this was going to be a safe, good place to be, a lot of healing was able to take place. So that's me. I'm Cassie. Those are my main steps to healing from rheumatoid arthritis. And I'm not a doctor. I'm not I'm just somebody who's spent a lot of time studying this and living it out. I see myself more as a mentor, helping people understand and maybe troubleshoot where they're not quite getting it. So I'm going to spend the next many videos going through these 10 steps one by one and really diving into triggers, food, sleep, water, fitness, and the emotional aspects too of healing. And I hope that I'm able to help somebody overcome their symptoms and get their life back and live with purpose. So I hope you have a great day. Thanks for tuning in. Cassie, okay with RA.